Well, Freddie, you've been out on the lawn this morning limbering up. How do you feel about the prospect of the big one at Wembley?
Sorry? What was that you said?
Playing in the cup final.
Oh, yes. Playing in the cup final, yes. Well, I've been training all my life. I've been trying different things out with Howard Kendall. And things have got better. Now, we feel more confident, you see. We're more confident. The Everton team have never played as good as all the years.
But your last match was 1897.
Ah, yes, I've been dead for 2 years. Yes, I'm now dead. Take no notice of me being dead.
This is a reincarnation, this is it?
No, just a Rose and me. No carnations here today. I'm just here because I'm here. Because it was my will to be here.
Now, the other players are looking anxiously out of the windows, wondering whose place you're going to take.
Well, I'm taking them all.
Oh!
Yes, I'm filling the whole 11. In fact, 24 players. I'm playing against myself. I'm so good. Yes. It's tough at the top, you know.
Which bit will you enjoy the most?
Brian Clough's mouth. I think I will enjoy scoring against myself. I've always wanted to score a penalty against myself, which is very difficult. It's never been done before, you know.
What have you got in those shorts?
I've got horse manure, which keeps other players away from you. That's why you're talking to me on a...
Going backwards?
Yes. I've heard about that.
You see, one-man football is all the rage now in America. And I'm here to spread the gospel. We don't need Everton or Watford at Wembley. I'm playing with two teams I'm taking over from. I've always wanted to score a penalty against myself. I was telling the camera here. How are you, John, all right?
Yes, fine, thank
Good, is that your wife?
Yes. We've had a lovely evening together. Very peaceful.
Waiter!
You just watch it. There's a lot of people say that you look like me, right?
What about him?
He's too ugly. He's too ugly. Right, now listen to the instructions what I've got to give to you. I want you to listen to very carefully to every word I say to you. Howard, listening? There we go, now listen to this. Now, at Wembley, for this, when you walk it by through the tunnelling mode, you hear the crowd... Now listen to the ear drivers. You hear the crowd, oh, heavy mode, heavy mode. They're the boys that win the cup and for this. And spit on the floor and all hooligan and they get arrested up the back load. Take no notice and deep focus and thinking most when passing at the ball and don't give away in midfield. Very important, like in giving it and taking it for this. And no kicky of the referee. Have you listened?
Yeah, I've got it.
Very clear, boys.
You got that? Right, now, who's going to win?
You don't have to ask that, do you?
I think we're going to win.
Yeah.
We're going to win. Yes. We're going to win today. Everton will win today. Elton John, we're after you. Yes, we will win the cup today.
Watford, possibly the youngest FA Cup final team in history. Everton, marginally more experienced, but the two young managers personifying what this cup final really means. Howard Kendall, who in fact will be 38 next Tuesday, but played here at 17 back in 1964, and Graham Taylor, nearer the camera, who became a manager when he was only 28 with Lincoln City. The two captains, Kevin Ratcliffe of Everton and Watford's Les Taylor, and some of those players looking up for wives, sweethearts and families, but I must say very few wives, because would you believe that only 7 of the 24 players on duty are married? There are 17 bachelors out there this afternoon. That must be some sort of record. Five of the Everton players actually are getting married in June, I ought to add. Fiancés in the stand. One player with perhaps rather different sentiments. Watford's club captain Wilf Rostron, voted Player of the Year again only last weekend, but suspended from this FA Cup final. But other unlucky players there as well. Steve Sims at the back, ruled out by injury for Watford. Mark Higgins in the blazer to the right of Everton. But they're entering into the spirit of the occasion. And the royal party making their way to the touchline. The Duke of Kent, actually, the president of the Football Association, will be meeting the two teams after the national anthem. You don't have to be a millionaire to enjoy an occasion like this. The 103rd FA Cup final, the 56th to be played at Wembley, and Kevin Ratcliffe introducing the Everton team. Derek Mountfield with the moustache, Kevin Richardson, who'll be wearing that protective covering over the Duke, maybe inquiring about that. A broken wrist there for Richardson, and he's worn that ever since. He broke his wrist way back in the Milk Cup semi-final. Alan Harper, the substitute, shaking hands there. Trevor Stephen, the youngest player on the Everton team. Peter Reid, the joker in the pack, John Bailey. Always in good spirits. And so too normally is the man standing next to him, the top goal scorer, Adrian Heath, got the winner in the semi-final. And there's Howard Kendall, who's been to Wembley 3 times before as either player or manager, but has yet to win. Just been given a new 4-year contract by Everton, a just reward for the way he's turned the fortunes of the club round since the turn of the year. Kevin Ratcliffe passing over to his Watford counterpart, and that will be Les Taylor, who's only ever captained Watford twice before in recent league matches. He introduces Steve Sherwood, the goalkeeper, then Nigel Callaghan, young David Bardsley, past fit this week. John Barnes could be a key figure in the final, we shall see. George Riley, who's certainly the tallest man out there. Les Taylor was captain at Oxford for a couple of seasons before he joined Watford. Mo Johnston. Watford's sub is Paul Atkinson. Graham Taylor, who's dreamt about this moment for a very long time. With his Royal Highness there, Bert Millichip, chairman of the FA, Lionel Smart, chairman of the Challenge Cup Committee, and Ted Croker, the secretary of the Football Association, and the officials, referee John Hunting, linesman Alan Saunders from Newcastle upon Tyne, being talked to there by the Duke. He'll have the red flag. Next to him with the yellow flag will be Noel Butler of Surrey. Big moment for him. He's recently become a father. He's also been promoted to the referees list next season, so he's had quite a time. Now on the cup final line, and the reserve official, Vic Wood of Northampton. The weather perfect, the pitch nice and firm. Familiar scene. So stand by for what must be the youngest cup final of all time. Only 2 players over 27 years of age. On the Everton side, Andy Gray at 28 is the oldest and has the widest Wembley experience, although he and the youngest member of the 12, 20-year-old Trevor Steven at number 7, are the only two who didn't play in the Milk Cup final this year. But Steven was capped here as a schoolboy, so all the Everton players have sampled Wembley before. By contrast, for Watford, only number 10 Kenny Jackett and number 11 John Barnes in the starting 11 have played here in the past, both for their country. Goalkeeper Steve Sherwood is 30, but 9 of the 12 are 22 or under, with surely the youngest back four that you could possibly imagine. David Bardsley, 19, Steve Terry, 21, Neil Price, the number 3, is 20, and at number 6, the youngest player in the cup final, 18-year-old Lee Sinnott, who joined Watford from Walsall only last September. Now, at left back, Neil Price is playing only his second FA Cup tie. He played in the semi-final because Jackett was injured, and he plays in the final because Rostron is suspended. The other fullback, David Bardsley, relieved that he was past fit earlier this week following a knee injury. He only came from Blackpool in November. But will that inexperience be able to cope with the likes of Andy Gray, the man whose signing from Wolves signalled a turning point in Everton's season and whose influence on and off the field has been of paramount importance to them? And he's helped to make some goals as well as score them, many of them for Adrian Heath, the top goal scorer on the Everton side. He's put 18 away this season, including that winner against Southampton at Highbury. But if he's the top scorer for Everton, the top scorer for Watford is Maurice Mo Johnston. 24 goals in 34 games for them since he came from Partick, a player that Everton tried to sign, funnily enough, at one time. And his partner in attack, it's a little enlarged there really, George Riley, 6'4", scorer of the winner in the semi-final against Plymouth. Just some of the players you'll be watching in a few minutes' time as the referee, John Hunting, whose last match it is before retirement, brings the two captains forward. John Hunting and his two linesmen, and the two number 4s exchanging pennants. Here's Jimmy Hill.
Well, we've such a kind panel that I don't think they wanted to mention probably the difference in reputation between the two goalkeepers. Neville Southall there, who's had an inspired and a remarkable season, as we've all seen, and Steve Sherwood at the other end, who's not without his critics, but he stood up to them all and backed Graham Taylor's judgment in keeping in that goal against the pressure of people who say that he's not good enough. That's the challenge that he faces today, and it's one of the most interesting battles of the whole occasion.
Down on the team benches, Howard Kendall flanked by Colin Harvey to the right of the picture, and Mick Heaton. They've also been awarded new contracts this week. And as Riley and Johnston wait to start the final, Graham Taylor with John Ward to the left of the picture, Billy Hales to the right. So all is prepared, and Watford in the yellow shirts and red shorts start the 1984 FA Cup final, playing from left to right, just 6 years after coming out of the 4th division. Mountfield was close to Riley there from the start. Now, can Watford get their wingers into the match? That could prove a vital factor. Lee Sinnott's got a very long throw, the number 6, and he'll be aiming possibly for Riley's head there. Johnston is closing. Barnes is up at the far post. And Southall forced to make a save in the opening minute from John Barnes' header. Over the head of Kevin Richardson, here's Bardsley. Watford have profited so often from set plays, that includes throw-ins. It was clear there that they could cause some confusion in the Everton defence. Here's Riley. Andy Gray, with Steve Terry marking him closely there. Adrian Heath. And that was Terry. Wears the headband because of some 50 stitches in facial wounds over the years. Mountfield. Little touch by Gray, found Heath. They've got Trevor Stephen out on the right wing, number 7. Taking on Price. Gets his cross in. And Sharp was there. Good wing play by Everton, and Trevor Stephen. Remember, 3 of the wide men are not playing. Sheedy, Curran and Irvine all injured, but Sharp's header from Stephen's cross. Stephen is playing on the right-hand side and Richardson on the left. That was Riley. Johnston. Was well played by Gary Stevens, but not by Trevor Stephen. Here's Barnes. So the second chance for Sinnott to deliver the long throw. There are 4 in the penalty area for Watford, waiting, and 2 just outside, the 2 midfield players who retrieve so much. And Mountfield half clear, Johnston. Terry, a good header away from Gray. Reed. Jackett got a tackle in. Heath, Reed. And Heath again. And Richardson. He's normally a good finisher. That wasn't the best of angles by any standards, but Richardson has scored a couple of very good goals in recent league matches that I've seen, and there he went for the near post area, perhaps just sensing a gap between Sherwood and the post, and the ball caught the outside. Here's Riley, offside. An open game was promised. The teams drew 4-4 in the league at Watford earlier in the season, and it started progressively. Sharp's header. Barnes, Johnston. Jackett's moved up down the left wing, number 10. Mountfield went across. Goal kick. Sharp to Richardson. Bailey. Lofted cross. Sharp coming in on the goalkeeper who fisted it. Stephen! Whistle's gone. Foul on the keeper. as Graham Sharp came in. So 6 minutes gone, and activity in both penalty areas. Bailey's header, then Sharp's chest, now Andy Gray. Open movement from Everton. That was Stevens to Heath. Stephen off Price. Stephen again. Heath. Everton using the full width of the pitch. It's Stevens with the throw. Sharp got a flick. Bardsley a header away. That was Barnes. And Riley chasing with Mountfield. But he doesn't make many mistakes, the Everton number 5. It's a hallmark of his game that he's most reliable. Sharp to Stevens. Jacket for Watford. Just a reminder that Gary Stevens is the Everton right back, and Trevor Stephen is their number 7. Just so that you don't get confused. Reed. Touch. His Jacket came off Reed. Those two are having a close contest in the middle of the field. Number 6, Reed of Everton, and Kenny Jacket on the left of the picture. Number 10 for Watford on the ball now. And that miscue was by Stevens. Nigel Callaghan with Bailey. Here's Bardsley. It's come out as far as Jacket. How often that happens with Watford. Barnes is wide on the left. There are 3 waiting in the centre. It's a poor cross. Trevor Stephen brings the ball away. Stevens. Riley. Got behind the fullback. Johnston's coming in here.
Well, fascinating the way the match has developed. Splendid to see both goalkeepers in action at this very early stage. It isn't always normal these days, but Sherwood there has shown excellent technique when Richardson broke through. He had that post cover beautifully, although it was point-blank range, and then a bit of a shaky technique when he tried to punch with one hand. Always a dangerous thing for keepers to do, but a foul at the end of the day saved him. But up to now, a delight to see the goalkeepers in action, not just taking pass backs.
So 10 minutes gone as Riley gets the header to Johnston. And it was a throw-in from this position which caused a flurry in the Everton goal mouth in the opening minute. Riley's waiting again. And that was Riley, and also Barnes again. A turn this time, Kenny Jacket, deflected by Ratcliffe, headed by Stephen, and then by Ratcliffe again. Another throw to Watford. And they've obviously decided it's a tactic worth persevering with, because there goes Sinnott once again. And there are 4 lined up in the penalty area as Jackett collects the throw. And Southall took it beautifully, challenged by Riley. Good early handling by Neville Southall. That's the second time he's been tested, and the second time he's taken the ball cleanly. That was Sharp. And then it was Heath to Andy Gray, waiting for Richardson up on the left. Knocked it back for Sharp. Gray is in there. Cleared by Terry. Back by Ratcliffe. There was a foul by him on Johnston. Richardson. And Sinnott showing no sign of nerves at all. The former England Youth International, youngest player on the pitch. There's Taylor, and then Bardsley. Ratcliffe clears. Sharp's header. That was Stephen winning against Price and releasing Heath. Andy Gray is in the centre. Peter Reid's up on the right. It's still Adrian Heath. And it came off Price for a corner. Heath tried to chip, and Neil Price got a foot in the way. He turned beautifully inside, did Adrian Heath, but the left foot of Neil Price means that Sherwood wasn't tested. So a corner to Everton, for which Mountfield and Sharp are on the near post. Stevens to Reid. Here comes Gary Stevens. Oh. Well, that was a tester too for Steve Sherwood. Wonder if Stevens meant that as a cross. It turned out to be a very useful shot. Long ball from Kevin Richardson. Sharp. Trevor Stephen is in support just inside. Only Gray in the penalty area at the moment. 2 more joining him now. Stevens. Sharp again. And Steve Terry. Barnes never quite made it. Reid. Now Richardson. And a header by Sinnott. Everton testing these young defenders. That was Price's miscue. Heath who collected. Stevens who made some space. Jackett's header away. And a determined spell for Everton, and a close examination for Watford's young defence. Reid to Stephen. And Sherwood decided to punch. Here's Richardson. And it's the goalkeeper tested again, this time by Derek Mountfield, coming in on him. Well, 15 minutes gone, and I've rarely seen the 2 goalkeepers see so much of the action in the first quarter of an hour of an FA Cup final. It's usually cagey early on, but not this year. Bailey. Mind you, goalkeepers normally appreciate that sort of activity, or some of it anyway. Settle them down. Callahan going to come back and help defend, but a good ball out to Riley. Oh, that's also a good pass to Les Taylor. Barnes is trying to stay onside on the far wing. He's come inside for it, and he's got into a good position here. John Barnes for Watford. Good save by Southall. Les Taylor. Stevens and his defence caught out by a crossfield ball, which really bisected the Everton defence. John Barnes came in from the wing. Watch the goalkeeper first of all, because as Barnes made room, Southall saved, or the defender in front of him in fact blocked it, Mountfield, and Les Taylor drove narrowly wide. So close for Watford.
It's symptomatic, John, of the game, and the reason the goalkeepers are busy is that both attacking sides are playing the ball through the defences. They're not playing the safe ball, they're looking for the space beyond all the while, and that was a perfect example, that through ball to Barnes. But both teams are doing it. It's lovely, positive football.
It is indeed, and that was Reed to Sharp. And interesting that there were two long passes in that last Watford move, but they both found the target, and they opened up the Everton defence. Perfect vindication of the Watford style. Here is Sharp, and Stephen came across there, and I would imagine the feeling down there is that young Neil Price at left back is being well tested by Trevor Stephen, the number 7, because as he tries to track his man, Stephen comes across the edge of the penalty area, gets just beyond Price there into a shooting position. So, the 20-year-old with his hands full. Callahan, Taylor. Offside was determined by the linesman, but a good advantage played by the referee. Oh, good ball. Mo Johnston and Gary Stevens having to come across. And Everton are getting caught square by this bubbling Watford attack. Johnston, the instigator of that move. It was Steve Terry. Forward by Mountfield. And here's Andy Gray, Richardson. That was Bailey's scoop and Jackett's clearance. And now it's Bardsley. Richardson got a foot in. Callahan. Gray. Offside against Richardson. What an exciting opening period here. No goals, that's true, but lots of possibilities, with forwards embarrassing defenders at both ends of the pitch. Sharp, Richardson. Again, they've got good width on the right, but the pass only found Price. And here's Barnes. Is Johnston going to stay onside? He has, and Barnes has gone through himself. A great run. And Gary Stevens is a very good athlete, which he needs to be to mark this fellow. Got back so well. That was a mighty important piece of defending by the Everton number 2. So 20 minutes gone. It was Sharp's header. Stephen coming in, but the referee decided Sharp was fouled. So it's a free kick to Everton. was taken by Reed, and it floated to safety from the Watford point of view. Well, just a summary of this opening 20 minutes. We've had 5 goal attempts by both teams, so that's, 10 in 20 minutes for the crowd to enjoy, and a clean match too. Only 3 fouls so far, all I think by Everton. So it's shaping up into the sort of cup final that people were anticipating. Watford have got 8 players forward in this attack. It was Bardsley's cross, cut out by Reed, retrieved by Les Taylor. Bardsley again. Callahan. So again, the throw being delivered by Sinnott. And Riley's in there once more, but some shoving and a free kick to Everton.
Big George Riley, Cambridge United, always a handful for defenders. Not the sort of fellow you want to play against. He towers above you, and even if he doesn't win the ball, he makes it uneasy for centre-half jumping against him. You can't really see the ball when it's coming down in the air when you're jumping against a player of that size. A man to replace Jenkins or any other lanky player that Watford style might need. They certainly seem to like the big centre forwards, and they know how to use them when they've got them.
Here's Stevens for Everton. Gray making his way into the penalty area. Steve Terry off Sinnott. It went for a corner. Played short to Stevens, and again curled by him. Adrian Heath trying to come in at the far side, but it was too long.
That was just an example there by Gary Stevens of chancing his arm. He hit the ball over hard, too strong, but he wasn't going to take his time and try and make it inch perfect. He was prepared to chance the pass in the hopes that it would be accurate and somebody would be on the end of it. It's that enterprising spirit which is making it a game a little above the normal. It's speaking for itself, really. There's no need for us to say that, the way in which it's going.
Here's Barnes for Watford. Again, it was Stevens interceding. Determined to come out on top in his personal battle with John Barnes, but already he knows just how difficult that's going to be. Can't leave him alone for a minute. Forward by Taylor. Barnes is chasing. And Watford have got players coming from all directions in the centre. Here's Jackett. And the cross dipping away rather from George Riley. And the ball was out. But the way Watford play, again, revealed in that attack, because although it wasn't the best of crosses from Kenny Jackett, there were 7 yellow shirts in advancing positions. And there are 20 minutes remaining in the first half. Here's Bardsley, offside. So the Watford substitute, Paul Atkinson, just having a warm-up there. Sharp. It's away by Terry. Heath. Such a lively performer. Here's Bailey. And then Reed. And Bardsley in front of Richardson. Mountfield across to check Riley. Certainly got to have their wits about them, these Everton defenders, as Watford have already indicated. Ball comes through so quickly. Here's Richardson. Gray's chest, always a good touch of his, that. Here's Sharp and Adrian Heath. Can it go wide again to Stephen? Price is in the way. It's good to see both teams using the full width of the Wembley pitch. Watford, we knew, would do that with Callaghan and Barnes, but Everton have had Stephen playing outside right and Kevin Richardson often pulling away to the left-hand touchline. There is Stephen, in fact, away from Price. Into Reed. Good advantage played by John Hunting. And Reed comes through for Everton. Well, Peter Reed, a battler to start with in the middle of the field. He's always been that, a competitive edge to his play. But when he saw the chance to go through on his own, he took it. Not a bad effort. Header by Gray. And Bardsley to Callaghan and back. Bardsley forward. Well, that sort of ball caught Everton out a little early on, but not on that occasion. There's Gray. Linesman's flagging for a free kick in Callaghan's favour. Funnily enough, as Bailey went in there on Nigel Callaghan, it's interesting that Callaghan on the right wing for Watford hasn't got into the game as yet. Nothing like as much as the other winger, Barnes. Who's had his moments in this opening half hour. But Watford have given that away, and it's Gray to Richardson, driven forward for Sharp. Here's Price. And so many players forward. One of them being Mo Johnston with the back header there. Reed, and he gets a free kick. He was obstructed. Price complains, but the referee was well placed. So with 15 minutes left in the first half, it's a free kick to Everton. Mountfield is forward. Stevens takes. Oh, and Andy Gray confused the goalkeeper, and the touch must have been by the Watford defender or by Sherwood, because the referee has given a corner. That was an anxious moment for them back there. Richardson will take this one. Sharp and Mountfield nearest to the kicker. And Sharp's up there, and Gray goes in. Sherwood punches Reed.
there's Sherwood, the man who's under pressure. He came for that ball well, not this one. This is the replayed corner. And it ends up with Peter Reid smashing the ball over the top from that punch. One-handed again, you'll notice the technique, but he wouldn't be proud of that one, Peter, professional that he is. But here's the man, under pressure, Steve Sherwood. Is he going to hold out, or is he going to make the one mistake that will turn the game?
Trevor Steven defending well for Everton, but then overhitting his pass. Steve Terry forward for Watford. The latest news from the Scottish FA Cup final, where Aberdeen are going for 3 in a row. Eric Black the scorer after 24 minutes against Celtic. Forward by Mountfield, flick on by Sharp. Sinnott's header. Now Richardson. Bailey for Everton. And Richardson again. Gray, Reid, Bailey, good passing. Richardson. And Taylor clears. And there could be a change of corner kicker from this side. Trevor Steven has come across to say, leave it to me, to Kevin Richardson. Steven again, and George Riley needs to get that clear. Barnes hadn't done so earlier. Heath. Reid. Can Heath reach the return? Oh, he can't beat Les Taylor. Les Taylor, who began the season with cartilage trouble, but he's come on strong in this Watford Cup run. Going into the inside left position to try and see the ball. He hasn't seen much of it on the right wing. And his free kick's been given for pushing. I think that was anxiety on Callahan's part to actually get into the game. Stevens takes the free kick for Everton. Floats it up towards Graham Sharp, who chested it down. Taylor's header. Now Callahan. Barnes is waiting for a possible through pass, so is Johnston, and they're offside. Linesman Alan Saunders from Newcastle upon Tyne, who is a Football League referee. Gray's header to Steven. And Stevens' cross. It was too long for Andy Gray. Johnston's flick. Riley. And Johnston's gone through the centre, and he's onside. Mo Johnston is through for Watford, and Southall saves the first effort, and Bailey gets the ball away. It's been a memorable season for the two players involved there. Certainly for Mo Johnston, who's scored so many goals and threatened so many defences, but also for Neville Southall, who made the save. Barnes for Watford. Ratcliffe's in the way this time. And that came to Price and away by Richardson. And Price in the Everton penalty area as the extra attacker. When Watford see opportunity, they won't allow the opposition to rest. Price again. Stevens this time in front of Barnes. What a good opening that was for Watford. It was a close offside decision, I would think, to start with, but Johnston had Bailey on his heels and Southall coming out. Riley. And there is John Bailey. Good, confident piece of play by him. Andy Gray. Richardson. Here's Taylor. Charging through from midfield. A brilliant run by Les Taylor. And his second shot to shave that goalpost. The Watford fans enjoying what they've been used to this season from Les Taylor. He thrust his way forward from midfield. He's prepared to go all the way. Captain for the day, showing a good sense of leadership there when he saw an opening in front of him. Fair to say that in the first half Watford have made the cleaner openings, but it's such a good match to watch. And here's Peter Reid handing over to Andy Gray. Richardson, and here he is again, and the cross headed half away, and Stephen Sharp, and a goal for Everton by Graham Sharp. Minutes, and Graham Sharp, who wouldn't have played in this final possibly had other players been fit, is the scorer. Stevens got it through first of all. Sharp turned and drove it low inside the post with Sherwood still standing. Graham Sharp, who has run into a rich vein of form these last 2 or 3 weeks, strikes for Everton, if anything, slightly against the run of play. Graham Sharp, 3 goals in 3 games before today, keeps up the average. Johnston, Barnes is coming in on the far side, and good jumping by Gary Stevens. An instant shot by Sharp, and it took Sherwood by surprise. So the Mersey sound rings around Wembley as the Everton supporters celebrate the opening goal 7 minutes before half-time. But are Everton vulnerable just after they've scored? Barnes. Header out by Reid, only as far as David Bardsley. Callahan. Corner to Watford. The next 2 minutes, the 6 minutes which remain before half-time, should be very exciting now. 4 men spread along the goal line by Watford as Callahan takes the corner. And the header out is by Andy Gray. Callahan again. Jimmy Hill.
Well, Graham Sharp has been criticised for his goal per game ratio, and it's one of the reasons I think why in the past Everton has found it difficult to score goals prolifically. But in other ways he's a complete player. He's quick, nimble, leads the line well, can lay the ball about, got a bit of pace and can cross well. But the one fault has been that little bit of nervousness in finishing. He seems to be conquering it lately, and he'll become a very good player indeed if that's the case. Splendid goal, luck favoured him because it flicked in off the post.
Also, I think, Jimmy, a very good piece of measured build-up down the left-hand side between Kevin Richardson and Peter Reid, which was nice orderly football which preceded the goal. John Bailey takes the free kick for Everton. Andy Gray's flick, here's Adrian Heath, couldn't get the volley, Les Taylor could. And now jack it forward only as far as Reid. Heath, Everton are on a high. Trevor Steven into the body of Price. Steven again gets his cross in this time. Andy Gray heads it back, Terry heads it out, Richardson! Again, Trevor Steven giving the young left-back problems. The cross was good. Andy Gray, he thrives on that sort of service, heading it back. And when the ball was knocked out by Steve Terry from Sharp, in came Richardson with a drive well over the bar. Reed. Here's Heath. And now Stephen. He's had a good first half, this 20-year-old on the right wing. He's made a bigger impact really than the Watford wingers up to now. Trevor Stephen. And he, like Sharp, wouldn't have been in Howard Kendall's first choice cup final lineup. These players are there because the likes of Terry Curran and Kevin Sheedy were ruled out, and Howard Kendall had to reshuffle his pack, but he'll be happy enough if the score stays like this until half-time. And there are 3 minutes of the first half remaining. The Evertonians delighted with the goal, and particularly with the moment when it came, because Watford had had a chance a couple of minutes earlier. Forward by Jackett. All the noise coming not from the Watford end, but from the Everton end. They didn't score in the Milk Cup final here, but they've opened the scoring today. Here's Terry, and they've switched wings, Callaghan and Barnes. Callaghan now on the left, plenty in the centre, but he went for goal. Jackett, Barnes, wide of him now, Callaghan, who's gone back to the right. Johnston and Riley are on the far side. The cross comes back off Bailey to Bardsley, and now Barnes. Well, there was a flag up for offside there, but Neville Southall has the ball, and Everton will look back on the save he made from Mo Johnston, who was clean through, just a matter of minutes before Sharp scored at the other end. One wonders how much of a turning point that will prove in this final. There's a long way to go yet. Bardsley, Johnston, good turn. But Ratcliffe got a block on. Johnston won it back. Everton, whose form has been so good leading up to the FA Cup final. They've kept it going in the league. Unbeaten in their last 6. And there's Sharp chasing again in stoppage time at the end of the first half. In fact, they finished with 3 successive wins, Everton, and they've finished this first half with a 1-goal lead. Thanks to 23-year-old Graham Sharp, of whom Howard Kendall said to me earlier in the week he doesn't score tap-ins, but he scores unexpected goals. And the Everton manager will be very pleased with that one, coming exactly when it did. So, Elton John, whose side go off a goal behind, but he's seen Watford show tremendous spirit before, and there may be plenty to come from them. As it was, they had their chances in the first half, were denied largely by Southall and his defence with some last-ditch clearances, but the important moment came at the other end when after 38 minutes Graham Sharp scored the goal, which makes the half-time score Everton 1, Watford 0.
Well, now the words of the three wise men on our panel: Rory McMenemy, Bobby Charlton, Jimmy Hill. Enjoying yourself, aren't you?
Yes, it's good. It started very lively and then it faded a little bit. A few of the nerves started showing, and of course it's finished very well because of the goal. And we were just saying there's so many good young players on there, and it's going end to end. There's been chances at each end.
Bobby, let's have a look at the goal there. Well taken by Graham Sharp.
Yes, he's a good finisher when he gets the chance. It was half shot, half back pass, I think, but it was a bit...
And that came from Everton and Graham Sharp. And we talked about Gary Stevens' battle with John Barnes, but as the ball is cleared, look what happens here. Stevens, in an attacking position, reacts better than Barnes and gets the ball forward. Sharp could only have been just onside, but he was, and he scored. Graham Sharp, who's been the top scorer at Goodison Park for 2 seasons in the past, but has spent much of this season out of form and at times out of the team. Indeed, when the Everton club sent their team forward for the early editions of the Cup Final programme, Howard Kendall had Graham Sharp down as his substitute. Well, Graham Taylor knows that half-time is only a punctuation point. I remember this 4-4 match the two teams shared when Watford actually led 3-1 and 4-2 before Everton snatched a draw in the league. So anything can happen here, although Everton in the FA Cup this season have only conceded 1 goal. That was scored in the 6th round by Chidozie of Notts County against them. So if they protect that record, they'll win the cup. Well, in the second half, the prospective chairman changed seats so that the Duchess of Kent will be sitting next to the Everton chairman. And there is Philip Carter, just being asked to move across into the seat that Elton John occupied in the first half. He's just finding his way there now. Possible future Supremo of the Football League. So he's next to the Duke. So John Hunting gets the second half started. Watford now playing from the right. Here's Les Taylor. Richardson. Here's Callahan. And it's Riley. Taylor. And again, Barnes, the Watford player, further forward. But the fullback knows that he has to follow this man. Incidentally, the last 7 major finals here in FA Cup and Milk Cup, that is, have all gone to extra time. We haven't seen a match finished in 90 minutes since the West Ham Arsenal final 4 years ago. And we'll see if that's an omen. Ratcliffe for Everton. And Sharp trying to get by Sinnott, who fouled him. Indirect free kick. Mountfield up again, number 5. George Riley back to cover him. And Price stretching to get the header away. Then Richardson. He's good at that volleyed pass out to the left wing. Here's Heath. Went down under challenge and teed the ball up for Reed. Richardson again. Riley's header. Ratcliffe. Now Bardsley. Offside. A tradition for the Milk Cup losers to come back and win the FA Cup. That's Gray's flick. So perhaps that's going to be an omen for Everton. See much of the ball in the first half, and that pass came off outfield to Riley, who gets the ball in, and it's going to run on to Kenny Jackett, and the chip in, and Southall did brilliantly. Kenny Jackett's cross. Southall's had an outstanding season. Riley caused danger on the right. Barnes couldn't make the cross, but Jackett could. He returned the ball, and with Barnes hovering, Southall stretched to make a splendid save. First one hand, then the other. Flag's up on my side of the field. Referee hasn't seen it, but he has acknowledged it now. So Jackett and Riley both involved in that Watford build-up. Here's Sharp. Keith across to Stephen. Stevens coming down the right.
Well, there's one that went wrong. He's had a pretty good game up to now, but that was not what we're going to see now. A superb piece of goalkeeping. Neville Southall stretching full length with his right hand and making it a superb save at the second attempt. I said inspired form before the start of the match, and that was an example of just that.
So 5 minutes into the second half. Kevin Richardson for Everton. And there's an offside flag up there too. Riley's flick, and Johnston was waiting behind Mountfield, who's been solid. Here's Reed. Stephen. Flags up, the ball was out. Stephen again. Gray and Sharp waiting in the centre. And Gray is closing in here. Oh, and Sherwood didn't collect, and the goal is given. The challenge of Gray, too much for the goalkeeper. And Everton are 2-0 in the lead. And Sherwood disappointed. Gray and Everton ecstatic as Trevor Stephen crossed the ball from the right. Andy Gray comes in, marked by Steve Terry, but he beats him and Sherwood, and the ball is in the net. And Merseyside, the Evertonians, are celebrating their second goal. Good right-wing play again by Trevor Stephen. What a fine match he's having. And Andy Gray just comes in, and the two of them take a tumble. And at the other end, Taylor puts the ball through for Watford, who find themselves 2 goals down after 52 minutes. Sharp. Stephen again. He's teasing this lad Price, and he's beating him. And forcing a corner off him this time. Sherwood, not the first goalkeeper to be bombarded by Andy Gray, and that's been Gray's trademark down the years. He goes in where it hurts, where there are people competing in difficult areas, and often it's paid off for him, certainly today. Corner to Everton. Reid. Barnes challenging. Kept the ball in. Richardson. And Jackett volleying it forward. And a foul by George Riley on John Bailey, but the way Bailey reacted, symptomatic of the sportsmanship in this match. Howard Kendall's team, 2 goals to the good, and surely now, with one hand you think on the cup, but don't forget, strange things happened in cup finals. Back in the 60s, Everton were actually 2 down to Sheffield Wednesday and came back to win 3-2, and the Watford chairman will be hoping the same happens again here, the other way round. Trevor Steven. And really, they're losing it here, Watford. Will Rostron's absence at left back has suddenly become a factor on this side of the field. It's a point that they were worried about because Steven is having a fine match. This is Stevens with the throw. Sharp. And Steven drove it. And it nearly ran for Heath. Bardsley away. Callahan for Watford. Taylor. On to Riley. Now there's a chance here. Johnston's in the centre. 2 more are joining him. And the goalkeeper anticipates comfortably. Volleyed forward by Price. And Reid, but the whistle's already gone for the free kick to Everton. Well, the blue flags at the left-hand end of the stadium signalling the way this cup final is going. Reid. Sharp is there on the chest. That's Gray, and it came off Terry. It's a corner to Everton, who, with 10 minutes gone in the second half, are at this moment dominating the cup final. Mountfield and Sharp taking up their familiar positions. And Riley stretches, and Reid shoots. And Callahan for Watford to Barnes. John Barnes taking 2 or 3 defenders on, and offside on the far side of the field.
Well, you have to feel sorry for that man, Steve Sherwood. I said before the start he was under pressure, and it's amazing how in those conditions luck doesn't really run for you. He caught that ball really well, made up his mind that it was his, claimed it well, and probably the only player in the league, I think, who would have headed it out of his hands in that position was Andy Gray.
And here is Gray again. Price's header out. Now, will Watford change their tactics and bring on Paul Atkinson? I know there was a feeling one of the reasons he was made sub was because they can change their formation, switch 1 or 2 players around. They're 2 goals behind, and knowing Graham Taylor's thoughts on that, it's a consideration which is obviously in their minds at this moment. Terry with the header. Reid. Bardsley. That was an offside again here. The Everton defence holding firm in a line. Andy Gray, winner of a League Cup final here when he scored the only goal for Wolves against Forest. Now he's put Everton 2 up against Watford. That's his battle again with Terry. And Callahan, back to Bardsley. wonder whether the reorganisation might involve Neil Price, who's having a torrid time at left back. Here's Kenny Jackett. Bardsley. Any moment now. Paul Atkinson's previous Wembley experience, merely a six-a-side tournament before the Charity Shield with Oldham some 6 years ago. But this is the real thing for him now. The man coming off is Neil Price, the 20-year-old left-back, who played because Rostron was suspended. And Paul Atkinson, who joined Watford from Oldham and then promptly broke his ankle before the start of the season proper, is on the pitch. And Kenny Jackett to left-back is surely the change, with Atkinson playing on the left side of midfield. There's Kenny Jackett, who's a versatile player. Barnes. It could be too that Watford are going to play John Barnes in a more central role to see if they can get more out of him there than they could wide on the left wing. There's Jackett. Bailey's header, Callahan. Now Bardsley. They've given Barnes a roving commission now across that front line. He's got so much ability, they want him to be where the action is. Gray grappling again with Steve Terry. That was the contest which brought about the second goal, because Terry was the defender sandwiched in between Gray and the goalkeeper as all three went up together. Here's Taylor. Oh. Everton competing so well in that area, especially Peter Reid. Now Trevor Steven. Just about half an hour to go of normal time in the 1984 FA Cup final. Can Watford come from 2 down? Offside against Graham Sharp. By Callahan. And Graham Taylor said that whatever happened, his team would learn a lot from this experience, but at the moment they're second best. Forward by Ratcliffe. That Sharp's header back to Heath. It'll help on here to Sharp, but Sinnott is there. And it was actually Sharp that kicked the ball out. Still trying to make an impression, but finding it difficult. Barnes in that free roll now. Callahan to Taylor. Scooped up, but John Bailey underneath it. Well, Richardson intercepted that. a firmness about Everton's defence now that was not there at the start of the match. Andy Gray caught offside, but what a typical Andy Gray goal that was. Going back to his Aston Villa days, you've seen him before in those congested penalty area or 6-yard area battles. He goes in with everything, and he's carrying, I can tell you, quite a few injuries, the legacy of that sort of challenge. But my word, how it's paid off today for Everton. On by Riley. And here's Kenny Jackett. The bounce, well read by Taylor, who hooked it across, but nothing's happening, it seems, for Watford in the last third of the field.
Game's in a ragged period at the moment, but that's one man there who needn't be ashamed of his performance today. Marvellous, inspired captain's role, behind, but not given up in spirit anyway. But what you were saying about Andy Gray, you probably remember that goal that he scored on the half volley with his head. I think there are very few players who actually watch the ball so carefully onto their head. And to head the ball out of the goalkeeper's hands when he's caught it is an extraordinary ability which takes a lot of courage. Was to keep your eyes open until that point really is a courageous thing to do. Gray has courage to his fingertips and ability.
It's Gary Stevens forward. Taylor to Jackett, now playing at left back, remember. Long ball by Stevens, Sinnott and Sharp. And they've got Richardson in a good position here. It's Gray at the moment. Stumbling against Les Taylor, but still finding Adrian Heath. Shot was blocked by Bardsley. Here's Bailey. Real influence on the way Everton's season turned, Andy Gray. Here he is again. Reed taking over. Here's Richardson. Bailey also up with the attack. Heath. Bailey. And that could test them again with Gray in there. And Stephen with the shots, but it's a corner. Got an instant deflection. I think it was Kenny Jackett. And Everton looking for more. They've got Mountfield up again. Stephen to take the corner. And Sherwood came this time to catch it cleanly. Callahan, oh dear. There's Barnes. Oh, that's good skill. Offside though, against Atkinson, the substitute. Terry with the header, Mountfield with the interception, Sharp, and now Stephen. Oh, this lad showing the ability that Everton knew he had when he came from Burnley. He's a very promising 20-year-old. Took a while to settle down at Goodison Park in the first team, but the absence of others has given him opportunity here and he's taking it. Halfway through the second half, Everton lead by 2-0. Here's Stephen. And the block this time by Jackett. by a very good challenge indeed by Steve Terry. He was looking for the diving header. Played short to Sharp this time. Here's Stephen again. Barnes. And Barnes looks for Johnston. But Watford just can't get a grip on things in the second half. Ratcliffe and his co-defenders look very assured at this period in the match. Sharp. And now Reid. Stevens forward. Reid gets it in front of Jackett, who fouled him. Everton showing a very fierce appetite for the ball in the middle of the field, winning a lot of the 50-50 battles, and forcing the pace again here. And Reid, largely intercepting. Johnson, a nice little flick to Callaghan. Can he get the return inside? He can, but Gary Stevens covering. When that posse of Watford players come forward, Everton seem to know what to expect now, unlike the opening quarter of an hour when they got caught a couple of times. There are, in fact, 20 minutes to go. This is Atkinson, it came off Reid. Now it's Gray. That was good control. Sharp. Better movement from Everton all round. Heath. Sharp. Challenged by Sinnott. And a handball by Richardson. There's Barnes. And Ratcliffe is the defender, and that was good experience play by him.
There's the man that we envy, those of us who are English, looking for central defenders for some time now, and Wales have a splendid one there for many years to come.
It's also the Chinese year of the rat, so if his nickname's an omen, perhaps Everton were always destined to win the cup. Here's the captain, here's Gary Stevens. Good tackle by Steve Terry. Offside against John Barnes. Well, Howard Kendall did his homework on this final, and it would appear, with less than 20 minutes to go, that Everton have psyched out Watford to a great extent. What have Graham Taylor's team got left? This is Heath. Sharp. And now Taylor. Barnes turning. But only turning into trouble. Got a free kick for a foul given against Kevin Richardson. But Everton, for the most part, have cut down Watford's supply line. Will they continue to do so? Bardsley with the free kick. And Richardson again in the way. Forward by Stephen. John Bailey. Well, a Watford goal could put a completely different complexion on the match, but it would be against the run of play if it comes. Riley is in there. Bailey is the defender on the ball. And Graham Sharp, a good challenge, and Reid is thundering forward from midfield. He broke clear of Les Taylor. There are two others after him, including Kenny Jackett, who got a foot in. It's a good thing he did, because that was an inspirational run by Peter Reid. Good examples in this match, both from Reid and from Les Taylor earlier, of midfield players coming through ahead of the strikers. Stevens, Gray. Stevens again, that's driven against Jackett. Atkinson forward, and the linesman flags for a foul by Mountfield on Barnes, and the reason the crowd cheered was because at that very moment the linesman with the yellow flag, Noel Butler, lost his balance. But he's back on his feet now. Here's Barnes. Reid. Sharp. Forward by Stephen. It's the old adage, it's a question of who can perform on the day when it comes to a cup final. Pedigree and league form often means very little, and it would seem that Everton have benefited from their earlier visit to Wembley this season in the Milk Cup, and they've got themselves together in good fashion. And unless Watford can turn it in the last quarter of an hour, it would seem they've not fulfilled their potential. Here's Jackett forward. Now Atkinson. Callahan is coming in from the far wing. Bailey got a touch there. Back to Les Taylor. Jackett. Atkinson. Barnes. Jackett running on, but well read again by Mountfield. Well won back by Barnes. Four in the centre here. John Barnes for Watford. But is he trying to take on one man too many? Taylor. They were lining up to tackle him there. Riley. Watford's throw. Bardsley.
Get in that box.
Quite the day he might have hoped for, Jimmy.
Well, I think now the young man is trying to do too much. Watford have lost their rhythm and their style. They've changed the team pattern. Nigel Callahan has gone in the middle. He's not doing any more in the middle than he was doing on the outside. He's had one of those days that footballers dread, when you go to Wembley and your legs go. He just hasn't been able to get in touch. And as I say, Barnes is not helping them regain their team rhythm, and from the match's point of view, it would be rather interesting if Watford picked up a goal now and gave us a splendid last 10 minutes or so.
Well, there's been a history of surprises late in the final. One thinks back to Arsenal-Manchester United, when all seemed decided in '79, and Brighton, in a different context, coming with a late goal last season. But with 13 minutes left, Watford need to find two from somewhere. And at the moment it's Everton on the attack, with a free kick to be taken by Ratcliffe. And Gray is closing again. It was Riley's clearing header. Callahan. Richardson and Sinnott, who's done quite a lot, I would have thought, to stabilise his reputation at only 18, but on that occasion couldn't avoid conceding the corner. A solid game though, Lee Sinnott. But the man going across to take the corner, the youngest player on the Everton side, Trevor Steven, for the moment appears to be having a more direct effect on the game and its destiny. Headed by Ratcliffe, the flag was up for an offside. They were still coming back from the other end. A warm, pleasant afternoon at Wembley. Fine conditions in which to watch or play. Here's Taylor, and now Barnes. Callahan trying to sort something out here. Offside, won't count. Mo Johnston put the ball in the net, no goal. Nigel Callahan won the ball from a couple of Everton players and chipped his little cross in there, but the flag was up as Mo Johnston finished it off. On by Gray. Sharp to Stephen. Oh, well played, Peter Reid. Driven against the legs of Les Taylor for an Everton corner with 10 minutes left. Played short. Stephen. Gray waits still. Stephen. Another cross looking for Gray on the far side. And Steve Terry contesting it with him. Corner again to Everton. Still very much their game territorially. Richardson. Adrian Heath. Floated in, Bardsley away. Only as far as Reid. Cut out by the substitute Atkinson. Well, only Watford will know how much they've missed their suspended skipper, Will Frostrom. But it must be said there were other players on both sides ruled out, the others by injury. He's the unlucky one who was suspended. But he gives Watford a lot in attack as well as defence, Rostron, and they could have done with his surges forward on the left-hand side, and indeed through the centre at times. To detract from the Everton performance, which has been solid and at times enterprising and fully deserving of their lead. Sense of purpose about Everton since Christmas that makes them absolutely unrecognisable from the team that struggled so badly in the first half of the season. The transformation almost beyond belief. John Hunting, the referee who awarded that free kick, was curiously in charge the night it all changed. That Milk Cup tie at Oxford, which was the turning point in Everton's season. He refereed that one, and with the same man in the middle today, they've carried the improvement through to a 2-0 lead in the FA Cup final. Sharp. Now Taylor. Mountfield in the way. Have this young Watford side got the spirit and the endurance to stage a revival? They have 7 minutes in which to do so. Forward by Jackett. And now Barnes. And Kevin Richardson. Players always know when the police start to take their positions round the fencing that time is running out. It's often a clue for those who can't see or hear the signals from the bench. But the fans are also letting them know how close they are. Everton. How long they've waited, those supporters, for a major trophy. It's only 6 minutes away now, after 14 years. Sharp, and he's beaten Bardsley, and Adrian Heath's just inside him. It's still Sharp, and it ricocheted back off him to Stephen. And Stephen beaten this time by Mo Johnston. Callaghan out to the right. That's a decent looking movement at first, but the Everton defenders again reading the play so well. Been the pattern of the match. Heath for Everton. Stephen. And Watford beginning to look very weary now. Richardson away down the left with three waiting in the centre here for Everton. And a corner off Bardsley. Jackett. Watford indeed haven't had a corner in this half. Richardson and Mountfield was in there and away by Taylor. In fact, Everton's last corner was their 9th in the second half alone. And it's Heath, and he might have had a better end result than that. Clear shooting opportunity.
They're beginning to look like those shots at the end of the boat race, John, where one of the crews is slumped over their oars, and Watford have given everything, but it doesn't look to have been enough. And without doubt, Everton have deserved their 2-0 lead and what probably now looks like a victory. But as you say, strange things can happen, but I don't see them happening, or is it happening now? No, there's the linesman to stop all the excitement. Just a little too much, I think, for Watford on the day. The breaks early on went Everton's way. Watford didn't take chances that were offered them, and Everton have. And so I don't think anybody's going to grumble about the result of this, but Watford, by their fighting spirit, although things have not been running for them, have not disgraced their chairman nor their manager in any way in their first visit to Wembley.
Forward by Mountfield. The new LP, shortly to be released by Elton John, is called Broken Hearts. And there might be one or two of those around Watford tonight. With 3 minutes to go, they trail 2-0. And Graham Taylor must know, barring a miracle, the game is up now. Short of Everton collapsing completely, the FA Cup is on its way to Merseyside to join the Milk Cup and the League Championship Trophy and the FA Youth Cup, which Everton have also won. So stand by for a huge celebration, bedecked in blue and white, which is already starting on the terraces. Well, how long Evertonians have waited to hear this sound. This is Gary Stevens, and Richardson's made the forward run. highly on Ratcliffe, who's hardly put a foot wrong. Just an easy opening 15 minutes for that Everton defence, but after that, so composed, full of authority, led by the 23-year-old Welsh international captain. So close, just over a minute separating Howard Kendall and Everton from the FA Cup. And the challenge of the young pretenders from Watford has on this occasion been put very firmly in its place. Jacket with the throw. Atkinson. Stevens watching him closely. Callahan. Flags up. Offside. And this long, agonising wait for Evertonians everywhere is almost over. After all those years in the shadow of Liverpool, they are seconds away from a major football honour, and the sporting Watford fans are acknowledging that as well as the performance of their own team. Andy Gray's signing turned Everton's season, and his goal clinched the FA Cup. Their first trophy for 14 years. Graham Sharp, scorer of the first goal. Everton worthy winners of the FA Cup in 1984. Howard Kendall, who lived through such tortuous times, especially early this season, sees his season and his team's season end in triumph. Taylor, who will conduct himself, I'm sure, with his usual dignity. And who knows, he and Watford may well be back. But he knows too that on the day they were beaten by a better side. And I'm sure the Watford chairman would endorse that. They've come a very long way, and there'll be no disgrace for them in losing in the final. Wonderful reaction too from the Watford supporters, typically sporting. They've enjoyed their day, if not the result. But for Evertonians, this is a moment that they'll savour. Because omens were written all over this final. The losing Milk Cup finalists win the FA Cup for the third year running. In the Chinese year of the rat, the Everton captain Kevin Ratcliffe will go up to receive the FA Cup. Thanks to the goal scored by Graham Sharp in the first half, and the goal pilfered by Andy Gray early in the second. Up the stairs they go, and Kevin Ratcliffe, the youngest FA Cup winning captain for 20 years, since Bobby Moore received the cup for West Ham back in '64. He's only 23. He goes forward to receive the FA Cup on behalf of Everton Football Club. A memorable their first major trophy for 14 years. Graham Sharp's first goal went to him, and Andy Gray behind him got the second. Derek Mountfield, solid in defence. Southall, whose save should not be overlooked. Kevin Richardson, one of the most improved players in the squad. John Bailey kissing his medal. Gary Stevens and Trevor Stephen, especially the latter, had fine matches. Peter Reid, after an injury-stricken career, and Adrian Heath, the top scorer, as Les Taylor leads up the beaten finalist Watford, who get a pat on the back from the chairman. It was not their day, but so much has happened to them that it'll just be part of their experience when they reflect upon it. John Barnes, who flickered early on, but frankly the Watford wingers just never got into the game the way they'd hoped, couldn't provide the service, and therefore they didn't get the goals. But the Everton team applaud them, and deservedly so. Well, we've seen the Liverpool supporters celebrate so often. The Everton fans must be relishing this, and their counterparts from Watford are doing themselves proud also. You might have thought they'd won if you just switched on, but the winners are Everton, a famous club that fell on difficult times since they won the championship in 1970. But a surge of confidence in this second half of the season, which has brought 2 Wembley finals, and with the second one comes the FA Cup. And Andy Gray there, whose brother came over from Canada for this final, and saw him score the goal, which sent those supporters sky high with delight. And they'll take quite a while to come down to earth, I would imagine, as indeed will Gray and the other Everton players. The losers' lap of honour, and the final score of Everton 2, Watford 0.
Watching these scenes with fascination, our panel of Laurie McMenemy, Bobby Charlton and Jimmy Hill, and Laurie feeling very strongly about the managers.
That's right. I just feel it's a pity that the 2 managers kind of go up the steps. There they are, especially the losing manager. I mean, he doesn't know what to do at the minute. I've been in that position. He's standing like a bottle of milk. And I remember in '79, Cruffy was the winning manager, and he got a hold of me and he said, "Come on, to hell with it, we're the way up there." And we went up the 39 steps, we got to the top, and nobody knew what to do with us. And we've changed it this year for the Milk Cup. But the FA is still standing strong, and I made a play on behalf of all managers in '77, and it was knocked back by the FA, who said it's a day for the players. And of course it is, but it's a day for the town, the city, the supporters, chairman, directors even there. Look, we've got one who's smiling and he's crying at the same time. But the manager, what's he got to do with the man?
Bobby, the managers apart, this is the moment the players can sing.
Yeah, so this is where the players let their hair down and they do things that probably tomorrow morning they'll regret having done. Putting silly hats on, wearing scarves, etc. But they've worked hard for a whole season, and this is the culmination of a lot of work, and this is where they're entitled to enjoy themselves. And a city like Liverpool, you know, loads of unemployment, all these fans have come down, had to save hellish hard to get the money together to come down to Wembley twice, and they deserve the moment of glory. They've been under the shadow of Liverpool for so long that having worked hard, they deserve this moment. I think it's terrific.
Meanwhile, as the Everton players move with the trophy towards their packed ranks of fans, the Watford players getting a tremendous reception from their own supporters just above the players' tunnel.
Watford have had a fantastic 5 or 6 years. They've come to this, the highlight of the whole history of the club. And they'll have looked on it as a great experience, and they'll have enjoyed it. It's only something for them to try and emulate again, and I'm sure that they'll probably be back. They've got a wonderful club, well organised, well directed, and I'm certain that they'll go from strength to strength.
Meanwhile, at the far end of the stadium, the FA Cup being shown proudly to the supporters of Everton. There are literally thousands banked above the players there, a vast sea of blue and white papers.
Nice to see John Bailey with a cup in his hand. I mean, he typifies Merseyside to me. It's not the only club he's played for. He's played for Blackburn, I know, before Everton, but he's a Scouser through and through, and he had about 46 relatives, didn't he, on the train at lunchtime. And he cried, didn't he, when he picked up his losers medal in the Milk Cup final. And he touched the Milk Cup as if to say, well, we didn't get you, but we're going to get the other one. And I think they had the extra determination, Jimmy, today that I felt was lacking in Watford, strangely, because it's usually part of their game.
Yeah, funny enough, the two managers last night, Howard Kendall, when asked about his priority for today, said, we would like to win something because of Liverpool and the great length of time, you know, they've been out of the trophies. And Graham Taylor said, well, I want it to be a memorable match that we can all look back on. And it's amazing the different priorities maybe at that time.
Incidentally, as you watch Everton celebrating winning the 1984 FA Cup, the news from Scotland is that the Scottish Cup final has gone into extra time. Aberdeen won, Celtic won, black in the first half for Aberdeen. McStay equalised for Celtic, extra time is being played.
Celtic doing that with 10 men.
Yes, Celtic have Aitken sent off in the first half, so they're down to 10 men. But back to the scenes of celebration. And Howard Kendall taking his time out there.
Why not? Go on, you stay out there, son. Be the last one out. Go on. Deserve it. I remember speaking to him early in the season, and his head was down and he had a big moustache on. I says, get that tash off. It makes you look old. And at the minute, he looks like a 2-year-old. And that's nice, isn't it? The chairman going around, and a very emotional day for him. He looks fitter than some of the players.
Actually, he's a very emotional man, and those scenes were unforgettable, really, before they start, as he cried at the singing of Abide With Me, which really was one of the features of today's match. It was followed by a very good first half, but I've never heard a crowd sing the Cup Final hymn for years as well as that.
There's the two chairmen together. What's the game coming to? But they're well-respected men in the game, and Mr. Carter is a steady man, and it must be very pleasing to him and his directors, because they've had to go to work with Liverpool people for many years, haven't they?
And they've done it on a bit of a budget, Laurie, as well. They've not been big spenders, buying success. I mean, they've made their shares of buys and sales, but on the other hand, they haven't done it in that extravagant way. The manager has to be aware there, as you do at your club, that there is a budget.
When you talk about the 6 or 7 major clubs, they're one of them, aren't they? They're the big city clubs, and they've really harked back to the glory days today when Howard Kendall, in fact, was a player. But I wonder if, the point we were making really before has come over or not. At Watford, the supporters have generally treated it like a good day out. And it would be sad if the players have done that, because I always think if you're not one of the big city clubs, that you have to say, well, look, let's go there, win it, and then enjoy it. The temptation is to say, well, let's go there and enjoy it. And I don't think they've done either, because if you lose, you don't enjoy it, really, do you?
Yeah, but I don't think really it was through lack of attitude on the players' part. They fought tenaciously right to the end. And,
well, did you think they fought as tenaciously as they do in league matches? I mean, did they freeze on the day?
And I think some of them, I think like Callaghan, I think he had one of those days where his legs wouldn't work for him. I mean, he just couldn't do a thing right. And I think the young left back was the one who was shown up. Everton dominated in that area, and their young player, Trevor Steven, was outstanding.
It's interesting to see what happens there. The Watford supporters banked above the tunnel there, and the Everton players passing just beneath with the FA trophy, and they are rising to give them a reception.
Yes.
And that's really been typical of the atmosphere of the match.
It's been a good day. Right from the singing at the beginning, the national anthem, Bide With Me, they were all sung very well indeed, and there was no silly chanting in between, and I'm sure there'll be no troubles, and this is what we all hope that football continues to be like.
Kevin Ratcliffe, who has only been really noticed this year as a real class player, was a super captain today, I thought. You know, and just when they were having a little bit of a bad patch, and he weathered the storm, he pulled them all together. And very fitting that he takes the trophy down the tunnel there, because I thought he played a major part in the match.
Well, now the players leave and they'll shortly be joining us in the interview room. What a play in the 2 goals. We've heard Jimmy comment on them on the live outside broadcast. Let's get Laurie to talk about the first goal, which Everton scored in the first half.
This is at the period when it could have gone either way, really. And I felt that the lad Richardson was stretching people on the left-hand side, giving Everton the width there, and he's gone for a nice 1-2 here. And the important thing now is to get your cross in, which he does. And whatever happens after that, somebody has a half-hearted shot, which Graeme Sharp latches onto, and he dispatched it beautifully into the net. And a sweet moment for him, because if he looks at that programme for the rest of his life, he's down as substitute.
Right, well, Bobby, the second goal, there might just be an element of controversy about that. Did you think the goalkeeper was fouled or not?
No, I didn't, because I thought, if you look at it, Andy Gray actually headed the ball out of the goalkeeper's hands. I think, to start with, the goalkeeper has a tremendous advantage because he can use his hands. But I thought that Andy Gray was very brave putting his head there, and I thought, no, it was a good goal.
Well, there we are. That's how Everton won the cup, and now we can join some of the celebrations as we move down to the interview room.
Well, let me first of all say to Howard, many congratulations. 4th time lucky from your point of view, Howard, really.
Yeah, 2 losing ones as a player, then coming in the Milk Cup and losing that one. I mean, this is tremendous today. I'm delighted for everybody connected with the club, especially the fans out there.
It wasn't without a little bit of nail-biting, was it, early on?
No, early on we weren't playing too well, and we were allowing them really too many chances. And, you know, they really didn't take them at that period in the game. But after that, I thought in the second half we controlled it and we did ever so well.
I think Neville Southall perhaps deserves a big mention in those early stages.
Well, he's had a big mention off me recently because he's turned in important saves and he's done it again today. Absolutely superb.
Well, then came the goal, and that came from Graeme Sharp here. Graeme, can I just bring you into the picture? Let's just talk about that for a moment, because you did turn very neatly on it. How did you actually see that?
Well, I think the ball went out to the edge of the box, and I think it was Gary Stevens. Eventually, Gary Stevens has a shot from the edge of the box. I think the Watford players were trying to push out for offside, but fortunately for me, it fell for me just in, I think, the penalty spot. Just managed to turn and knock it off the post. Delighted to see it.
It did actually hit the woodwork, did
yeah,
it, Graeme?
I think it hit the post. I don't know. I think it hit the post there. Yeah.
And here it comes.
Yeah, I think they were trying to push out for offside, but fortunately I beat that, and the goal went in, so I was delighted to see that go in.
Here's the Everton captain, Kevin Ratcliffe. The year of the rat, Chinese year of the rat's come true. Ratted.
Yeah, up to now, so I'm pleased. I'm pleased for the fans, pleased for the players, pleased for the manager. It's been brilliant.
The boss did say long before this final that these funny things do happen and the old Chinese year of the rat could come up.
I've got no Chinese blood in me, I can swear on that. Anyway, Chinese meals you like. I know that's what it is.
Any food in it. Let me pull in Trevor Stevens, who's had an outstanding game as well. I can see you looking down affectionately at that medal, Trevor. That must mean a great deal to you at this moment.
Obviously. Very hard game, very tired now, but very relieved to have won.
What have you done?
Oh, thanks a lot, Ken. Very relieved to have won, and thoroughly enjoyed 90 minutes.
A marvellous moment for Everton Football Club, Howard, because it's 14 years, isn't it, since the last trophy?
It is. That was the league championship, yeah, and it was 1966, the last time the FA Cup. It means a lot to us because we've had to sit back and admire what Liverpool have done over the years. But we're delighted to have the first one on the sideboard. The youth team won the Youth Cup as well, so we're delighted. It's been a good year, 84 up to now.
Let's look at Andy Gray's goal, because I was sitting very close to this, and at the time I wondered, Howard, whether in fact it could be classed as an own goal, or whether Andy did in fact get a touch. What do you think here?
Well, Trevor's gone on the outside, and he's put another quality cross in. Andy is in a good position. I mean, the keeper's coming for it now.
You see, that's in his hands there, isn't it? Suddenly it's out.
No, I would have thought, looking at that, and I mean, naturally I couldn't see from where I was sitting, but Andy Gray certainly got the touch. You try and tell him differently.
Here we are again. Do you like to offer a version of this, Graeme?
I definitely think he headed the ball in.
You were quite close to it, weren't you, at this stage?
I was at the front post. I think I was in a bad position. The boss would tell me, but I think Andy had got that. I think he claimed that anyway.
Here it comes. Now, it's out of his hands. Now, it hits him there, doesn't it?
Look at the forehead on that.
Yeah. Definitely a touch off Andy.
It's a big shine.
Yeah. It's a clean sweep for Liverpool, Howard. All those trophies, domestic trophies, are finishing up in Liverpool, 2 of them in the Anfield one and 1 in...
Yeah, we were keeping our fingers crossed for Tranmere last night in the Associate Members' Cup, actually, but it just went down at Hull, and that was in the final as well. Delighted for the City.
I'm sure you'd like, and I'm also sure at this moment you'd like a word for Graham Taylor and the Watford lads.
Well, yes, I know what it's like to be on the losing side, and I think that he'll have enjoyed everything up to the game. I always stressed that the game was the most important thing. But, I mean, he's got a good side, he's got a young side, and I'm sure he'll be back again.
Well, I've got John Barnes with me. Thanks very much, lads, for coming. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And, John, let's have a little word very quickly, because that was against the run of play, wasn't it?
Well, second half, I thought they settled down better than we did. We had a few chances in the first half, and I suppose if one of them had gone in, it could have settled us down. But in the second half, you know, their second goal really killed us off.
It did fall to you, one of those chances, didn't it?
A few of them did, I think. I remember one which was blocked on the right foot, and I remember one when I was through, and Gary Stevens did very well to get back and throw it back to the goalkeeper. But in saying that, I mean, all credit to Everton. They played really well, and we're disappointed, but, you know, that makes us even more determined to come back next year.
John, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well, now I've got some news from Scotland. In extra time in the Scottish FA Cup final, Aberdeen have again taken the lead against Celtic. They lead 2-1, and their goal in extra time was scored by McGee. Well, now back to the panel and their views on the match. They've talked about the scenes, they've talked about the players' feelings, they've talked about the managers not being allowed to go up, which Laurie feels